Okay, so this is a review for season 8, episode 9, Enemies Domestic. First up, can I say that I loved it? I think I really loved it. I think it was really good. And I have notes. Okay, let's get to it. I loved the trippy flashbacks that Vance had, like they would like skits out from time to time. It kind of reminded me of Hiatus, and this episode was kind of a lot like Hiatus, but it was still really good. But yeah, overall the flashbacks were really well done, and NCIS generally does do really good flashbacks. Just a little nitpick though, I've recently come to be trained in standard first aid, and you should not move someone who's injured like that. They could have a spinal injury. I'm just saying, Gibbs, you shouldn't move Vance like that. You could have, made him a quadriplegic or something. Safety first, kids. And a total lull moment was when McAllister asked permission to like beat Mickey up with his cane. It was very Lucius Malfoy, though Lucius doesn't usually ask permission though. Guys, even though last week was props to Cody, I think this week is props to Rocky. I think I may like Vance now. Honestly, it was a really, really good episode and he did such a good job. I mean, Knockout, which was the last and besides this one only like Vance-centric episode, it was such an improvement compared to Knockout, which quite honestly was just not good. I have to watch Knockout again because there's something there with the detached retina story, and like maybe that's the story he uses instead of this one to explain why he went from like Navy to NCIS. I don't know. I have to rewatch the episode again. Side note, I also enjoyed Siva's little Gollum story. Kind of makes my Gimli reference from last week make a lot more sense, don't you think? And along with seeing young Vance, it was also amazing to see young Eli. He was so cool. I'm a little in love with Eli David. He's so great. I don't know if I'm kind of disappointed by the Liat-Ziva fight. The fight was really well choreographed, but I kind of wanted there to be a winner. Instead, Eli burst in and just kind of scolds some like children caught fighting. I mean, it was kind of cute, but I don't know. I kind of wanted Ziva to just beat her up. Also, did anyone notice Tony calling Mickey Glee? I love the Glee shout out. Awesome! One of my favorite overall components of NCIS is the spy game. Maybe it's just because I wanted to be a spy when I was little. It was just another reason why I loved this episode. The whole Amsterdam with like the dead drops and everything. It's just so cool. And did anybody else absolutely love the scene with Gibbs and Vance when he was in his hospital bed? They're like buddies, and then like Gibbs gives him a little pat on the head. Oh, it was a really cute scene. Another thing that I'm fangirling about is that this storyline tied into the mission that Jenny and Gibbs did way back in Paris, which was the source of the infamous Paris flashbacks in season 3. And also Jenny's demise at the end of season 5. Just another overall component of NCIS I like, that their storylines occasionally just tie in randomly to each other. And also, I can't help it, I love that Eli and Ziva made up at the end of the episode. Yes, it was really rushed, and maybe it didn't make 100% sense, but I love those two. I just love Eli and Ziva so much that I wanted them to make up and get all mushy, and they did. Yay! Nothing better happened to Eli. I don't want him to die. I just love him too much. I'm just crazy about the whole David family. I only have one little complaint about this episode, and that is the last flashback scene. Even though the cheese Danish thing was kind of cool, Gibbs looked the same. He didn't even look, his hair wasn't even like that in season 1. He just kind of stuck out a bit. I don't know too much about how they de-age people, but they managed to do some of it in the hiatus, so it can't be that big of a deal. Maybe it was so he could match the flashbacks? I don't know, but at least Mark and the writers kind of made him seem younger, so. I will say though that this episode as a whole worked so much better than the previous one. I'm in love with it. I think it might go on the favorite episode list. It was so good! Which is weird because I wouldn't have anticipated a Vance-centric episode would be like a favorite episode, but it was great. So I'm gonna rate this one 4.5 out of 5, which is an amazing rating. It might get bumped up to a 5 later. I really don't know, but I don't usually give 5, so. Good job, powers that be.